Hey everybody, I'm Amber. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Today I am sitting down and I am going to be telling you about some must-have postpartum items. I feel like with postpartum, it can be really easy to fall into one of two camps. One where you just get like everything under the sun because you don't really know what's coming, so you are just like over prepared. And then the other where you kind of forget to purchase things for yourself because labor is right around the corner, and so you're just focusing like all of your attention on that. And I am somebody who, I'm not like a minimalist, but I definitely lean more towards that side of things where I just don't like to have excess clutter in my home, and everything in my home just about is used at least a couple of times a year. So when I am purchasing things, I'm just a little bit more thoughtful because one, I don't want to waste money on things that I don't end up using. And then two, I don't want to create clutter that I have to go through later down the road and decide like, do I want this or do I not? And if I don't want it, like, what do I do with it? So I always take a little bit of time to like research and like just sit down and think before I go and purchase things. So that being said, I am telling you the 9 things that you need for the postpartum period. And these are the only 9 things that I ended up needing. So if you're kind of more on the minimal side, then you might be good with just these 9 things. I should say if you end up having a C-section, that might change things a little bit. I had a vaginal delivery with my son and I did not tear. I think even if you tear, you should be okay with just these 9 things. But if you have a C-section, that might change things a little bit. Like there might be one of these things that you don't need and you might end up needing to add a couple of things. But otherwise, I'd say that for most women, this should be good. So let's just jump right into it. The first thing you need, and potentially one of the first things you will use postpartum, is diapers. That's one of those things that I think maybe some people, I don't know, you either like know you need it and you just bite the bullet and get it, or you might be kind of like, ugh, like I don't want to get diapers, maybe I'll get Maxi pads instead. No, just get the diapers, I promise. Like it makes it so much easier, especially for those first 2 weeks after birth. It's just easier to just pop them on and you know that they're gonna hold a good amount of blood and discharge, and it's just so much easier. Honestly, they're not that uncomfortable. You're probably gonna be laying around a lot anyway, so definitely just get the diapers, and then you don't have to worry about wearing underwear and a pad, and you also don't have to worry as much about leaks and, you know, things getting places as well. So number 1 is diapers. Number 2 is Maxi pads or period panties. But if I could make a recommendation to you, it would be to skip the pads and just get 3 or 4 pairs of period underwear, because there's going to come a point where diapers might be a little bit too much for what you need and you can start transitioning to something a little bit lighter. But I found for myself that things just got a little bit irritated down there after almost 6 weeks of wearing diapers and then pads, because, you know, like they just get nasty and moist, and I don't know. It wasn't comfortable. So I already had 1 pair of period panties. I ended up purchasing 2 more, and I found that those were just much more comfortable once I didn't need diapers anymore. So I would recommend that instead of the Maxi pads. But if you already have Maxi pads on hand, or if period panties are not in your budget or something like that, then, you know, pads will work. And I'll link the period panties that I have down below so you can check those out if you would like them. You can also use them once your period comes back as well, like for nighttime or something like that. So that is what I would recommend to you. The third thing is reusable hot and cold perineal packs. A lot of people talk about making padsicles where you basically like take a Maxi pad and I think you maybe put it in water, but either way you freeze it and you put like witch hazel, and I think sometimes people put like essential oils on it. I did not do that because I have a very sensitive private area, and essential oils and things like that really make things irritated down there. And so like I don't wash any of my underwear in scented detergent. So instead of the Padsicles, I got these. I'll link it down below. It came in a pack of 2, and it's just a little gel pack. You can stick it in the freezer or in the microwave, and then it comes with these little washable sleeves. So you just put it in there and then put it down there when you're done. I found 2 to be plenty because I didn't want something down there at all times, and I never put it in the microwave. I only ever froze them and then put it down there for a little bit. I found that they last a pretty decent amount of time, and less waste, you guys, less waste, come on. Number 4, you probably already have this one on hand, is ibuprofen. It is good to have this on hand, even if you don't take a lot of medication, just for like those first couple of days. You can breastfeed while taking ibuprofen, and you really want to make sure that you're getting rest. And if you're really, really sore or in pain down there, that could make relaxing a little bit harder. And so just have the ibuprofen on hand just in case. I didn't even take as much as you can, but I took enough just to like take the edge off a little bit. And so that way I could nap, relax, sleep. Before we get into tip number 5, if you haven't already, please make sure to tap that subscribe button right down there. I would love to see you around here more often, and it really helps support my channel. Okay, so number 5 is loose, easy to get on and off clothing. Again, something that you probably already have on hand, but just you want to make sure that you have easy to get on and off, like sweatpants, nothing too restricting or tight. And then also make sure that you have shirts on hand that are easy to breastfeed in if you do decide to breastfeed. And I would actually even like test out like how quickly can I whoop out my breast in this shirt. So nice, easy, comfortable clothes. Make sure that they are out, washed, and ready to go. Number 6 is the Peri Bottle. So after you give birth, if you give birth vaginally, it's going to be tender down there. So 1, you are not going to want to wipe, and 2, you might find that it burns when you pee. And so using the Peri Bottle is going to help cleanse the area without you actually needing to like go like that. And it will also help reduce the burning when you pee. This is the Peri Bottle. If you don't get this, then you will probably end up getting, like from the hospital, if you go to the hospital, just like a standard squeezy bottle where the spout would be like this, and then you have to just put it down there and aim it up. The nice thing about this is that it just is a lot easier because you don't have to like try to like look down or aim or anything like that. You just stick it down there and squeeze and it's done. So I found this to be pretty helpful, and I just kept it by my sink at all times so that right before I needed to go to the bathroom, I just put some warm water in and then I just took it with me and good to go. So Peri Bottle, I'll link this down below as well. The next thing is something you also might already have on hand, that is coconut oil. Because if you are a first-time mom and you are planning on breastfeeding, there is a very good chance that your nipples are going to be a little bit raw and sore for a week or 2 because you have not breastfed before. And so I saw that some people recommended getting those like little silver nipple plates. I didn't want to spend the money on those, especially because, you know, I wasn't 100% sure that they would work or not. But I found that just rubbing a little bit of coconut oil on my nipples really helped, like immediate relief, and it helped kind of like keep them from getting chapped. So make sure you have coconut oil, or if you already have coconut oil, then maybe like put some in a little Tupperware and then just keep that in the bathroom. Number 8 is reusable nipple covers. There are disposable nipple covers as well, so you could get that, but I always am for trying to create less waste. So I purchased reusable ones, and you definitely want to have those on hand because when your milk comes in, you are probably going to be just leaking a lot. And so these are the reusable ones. They're super, super soft. They're, you know, machine washable. And the ones that I got also came with like a little wet bag that you can store them in. And then it also came with a washing machine bag that you can like put all of them in and then just throw that in the washing machine. So you just put this in your bra. And for the first few weeks, I wore these all the time because I would just leak at random times throughout the day. And these held up really, really good. Like, they actually held a lot of liquid. Right now, I still use them. I'm 4 months postpartum now, but now I just put them in the opposite breast. Like when I'm feeding my son on one side, it just goes on the opposite side. And other than that, I don't use them anymore, but still using them when I'm feeding. So they've definitely gotten their money's worth. The 9th thing, and this is an important one, is frozen meals. This, you guys, is the one that I failed at because I kept saying, okay, yeah, I'm going to make food and then freeze it. And then I would just be like, I'll do it in a few days, or I'll do it next week. And I never did it. And then I had my son, and we would definitely be like scrambling many nights a week for those first 2 weeks, trying to figure out, what are we gonna do for dinner? Are we gonna cook? Or are we just gonna get something? What are we gonna do? Definitely freeze some food beforehand, whether you want to make food at home and then freeze it, or go and purchase frozen meals, or maybe do a combination of both. Just make sure that you have something. And my recommendation would be to do it at the beginning of your due date month. Or if you're like due at the beginning of the month, then do it at the beginning of the month before, or even a month before, just to make sure that all of that's in there and that you don't have to worry about it in the weeks leading up to giving birth. And that way, when you do give birth, you have food ready to go and you don't have to scramble every single night, especially for those first couple weeks when you're just like tired and you don't want to think about who needs to go to the grocery store and now we need to cook and we don't want to wake up the baby. You know, it's just trust me on that. Make sure you prepare. Okay, so those are the 9 essential must-have postpartum items. If there's anything that you think is a must-have item that I did not mention, please leave it in the comments for other mamas to look at. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you found it helpful, make sure to check out this video right here, which is the 5 postpartum struggles that nobody warned me about. So definitely go give that a look, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.